Welcome everybody to another episode of the First Fruits Stock Club. Man, it has been a rough 2 weeks, 3 weeks in the stock market. It has been, this is one of the craziest days I've ever seen in my life in regards to the volatility in the market. This is a crazy day. So today we're going to discuss a few things. First thing I'm going to discuss, and I'm going to show my portfolio at the end. So you have to just stay and wait till the end. So I show you, and also I'm going to tell you what to do next at the end. So you got to stay and wait. Yes, you do. All right. So we're going to discuss market volatility. We're going to talk about the crash. I'm going to talk about today, right? Today was crazy, a crazy day. I'm going to show you my option portfolio, option performance. I'm going to show you my long-term portfolio, long-term performance. I'm going to also show you my dividend calendar, right? So today's title is, today's title, collecting dividends in a storm. Okay, so get right into it. Stock market, the Dow Jones Industrial Average closed down 386 points. Um, this was so crazy. I'll get into the individual indexes next. S&P 500 down 103 points, and the Nasdaq down 486 points. The Nasdaq is getting hammered. The stock market as a whole is getting hammered, right? And man, so before I get into it, let me just say that I want to say happy related Founders Day. Of course, my Founders Day for Omega Psi Phi fraternity, which is my fraternity, was on Monday, November 17th, 1911. Let's say, man, yeah, to all the Qs out there who paid the price. You know what I mean? So just gotta get a shout out to them and my brothers of Beta Gamma chapter, right? The Woo, what we're known as, my line, and so just wanted to get a shout out to them. So, man, just quick message about my fraternity. Man, it is based on four cardinal principles, right? Manhood, scholarship, perseverance, and uplift. So we're going to put the other three aside, and we're going to discuss today about perseverance, right? This is a market where you're going to need perseverance. Like, life is not easy. I don't care what you do. If you're trying to achieve something, if you're trying to go to the next level, the stock market is a big boys game, right? It is. You know, you have Elon Musk, just got a $1 trillion pay package, right? You got CEOs making billions and people are making billions and billions of dollars, right? And of course, um, you know, it's kind of an exclusive club, right? But the thing about it is they can't stop you from getting in the club. You can get in the club, but you're going to have to persevere with times like this. Look, everybody has their money here, okay? Everybody has their money here. And matter of fact, something that I'm working on is that if you think about it, if you take away the United States stock market, the US will be a third world country, right? Even though, because what we do have is we have the world's reserve currency. That means like 60% of all the transactions that go throughout the United States, throughout the world, is done in dollar reserves. All right. That means the dollar travels, right? People accept our dollars because they're trustworthy. Um, Lately, it's been on a downward trend. The dollar's been on a downward trend, and that is because we have so much debt. We owe a lot of money to a lot of people. And that is one of the themes. That's the reason why gold has been going crazy, right? Gold has been going crazy this year. I closed out gold this I think last week, GLD was a great trade for me. I had to close that out. Oh, let me get this too. Let me get my disclaimer. All right. The information provided in the First Root Stock Club podcast is for education, informational purposes only, and should not be considered financial, investment, tax, legal advice. The views expressed by the host and his guests are their own and do not reflect the opinions of any financial institution or regulatory authority. Investing in stocks and other securities carries risk, including potential loss of principal, past performance. First Root Stock Club and its affiliates do not guarantee any specific outcomes, returns. By listening to this, you acknowledge that you are responsible for your own investment decisions. All right. So, so this is this is a tough market. So, like I said, perseverance. You're going to have to persevere through this market, right? And let me tell you, one of the hardest times that I had, man, becoming a Q, is not knowing when my process was going. We had a long process. We had a long process. So, so sometimes, you don't know. You don't know in life and whatever you do when you're going through a tough time, you don't know when it's going to end, right? You don't know when it's going to end. So what we have to do is we have to sit in it, right? We have to sit in it. We have to in our portfolio, and I'm gonna show you some of my stocks. Ugh, right? We have to sit in it, but it presents us opportunity. It presents us opportunity to be able to, right, to add more to our portfolio, to become better investors, and to be able to stomach more, right? Because the best investments, the best opportunity. Just think about this. The market has been on a tear since April 7th, with the tariff issue that we had. And a lot of people have made a lot of money, right? And a lot of people, oh man, I should have invested then. Well, here's your opportunity again. A lot of times we say things, but when the time comes, we're like, oh, I don't know. I'm scared. Like I don't care what the market is doing. I see opportunities. I continue to move forward in these opportunities, right? Continue to purchase. I'm not purchasing big chunks or whatever, but I am continuously purchasing opportunities and adding contracts to the options that I have. All right. So I continue to do that. But you have to persevere through this. I mean, it's going to be tough. You're like, oh, what if it keeps going down? What if? Right? We buy more. Right? We buy what we can. All right. You buy a little bit more, keep buying, keep buying. I'm gonna keep buying. Now, it does involve risk. Okay. The market is not guaranteed. You can lose all of your money. Highly unlikely. I mean, if you're investing in quality stocks, you know, but, I've been through 2008. I've been through 2000. I've been through a lot of crashes, right? And, but in the end, if you would have invested in those times, you would just think about where you would be today, where your kids would be today, financially, where you would be today, if you just took that opportunity, right? And if you decided just to persevere, put your money up, right? Put your money into the market. And this is for people who really want to move forward, who really you have a brokerage account and you're trying to take it to the next level. This is for those people. Okay. All right. So let me move forward to the next one. So the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Man, remember I always discuss how the stock market is a time machine, right? Right? It compounds forward when the prospects in the future look good, right? And it discounts backwards when it says, "Oh, well, I might have made a mistake in my thoughts of valuating a company or the market as a whole." So it's a time machine, right? So the time what I like to do is I've I'm here every week, but we've passed the weekly. I mean, we've gone lower than the weekly low, right? And right now we're going close to the 3-month low. right? So what I like, so you in investing, right, and in trading, you what you want to do is you want to look at time periods, right? So I look at three. I look the week, 3 month, 6 month, right, in a year. That's time period. I know people use a lot of other time periods, the 20-day to 50-day, 200-day moving average. I do a little different, but I just fit. And to me, like I said, the market is a time machine. It's going to move. It's going to go back to the value it had a week ago or a month ago or 6 months ago. We hope it doesn't go back to 6 months. But if it does, that presents more opportunities for us, or it moves forward, right? It moves forward and goes forward another week, another month, or another year, like in the future, right? And usually, the market, when it's optimistic, is compounding forward into the future, meaning it's thinking in the future this company or the S&P 500 can be worth this, right? That's what it will say. All right. So so this is a Dow Jones Industrial Average. Let's go to S&P 500. Once again, we're getting down to the 3 month, and I'm gonna give you three levels that you need to look at, right? And then once we reach those levels, um, we have to make some more adjustments, or we have to hold our breath a little bit more, which is fine, because more opportunities. All right, and the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq is heading to that 3 month low also. So so when we look at the 3 month low of the Dow, we want to look at 44,785.50. Okay, for the Dow. Say it again. 44,785.50. For the S&P, 6,307.70. What we're looking for the S&P, right? And this is the 3 month low. All right. And we're headed to it. Did you see where we are? And so, that's another couple hundred points. And then the NASDAQ, right? You see, we had 22,078. The 3 month low was 21,131 is the levels we want. Because what happens is if it breaks the month, then we go back to the 6 month, right? So remember the time machine, we're gonna go back 6 months and the value it had 6 months ago. We're gonna test that value. I think we're down, I think a total of 8% right now. I think we may go down to maybe a total of 10%. I mean, I'm not guaranteeing anything, but I think at 10%. But I like buying a little bit every day. And if we hit 10%, I'm gonna put more money in the market. But I'm buying contracts, because what's going to happen is that when the market goes it goes it decides that the values are correct and it wants to move forward, it's going to explode forward. Now you saw what it did today. Oh my goodness. I meant to put the day on there, but let me see. Going to today, and it just the Dow Jones Industrial Average, the market, I mean, it opened like close to like 500 or 700 points. And the reason why is because Nvidia, right? Nvidia reported, they reported revenues, I think of over had an increase year over year in regards to revenue of uh, right of 78% year over year, right? Crazy. I'm sorry. Revenue of 46.7 billion dollars, which is 56% year over year. So we got that information yesterday because they reported Wednesday, right? So last night everyone was enthusiastic. But what happened is you could kind of tell. Now I didn't. So let me give you guys a secret. One of the tell ways that you can look into the market and find out really what's going on, and rather you should start buying, is one thing is the volume, right? If the volume is light, the average volume, right? It's not, if it's like at 1 trillion shares and the average volume is 5 trillion, that means the volume is light. That means uh there's no foundation, what I call, in the market, right? And that's what happened. So the market ran up enthusiastic because of Nvidia would happen, and then it crashed down because there was no foundation in the market, meaning no one there was no uh there's no the average volume was down. Losing it. So we want volume, right? Volume means that people are trading. There's liquidity in the market, and we lost a lot of liquidity today, and that's the reason why the market just totally flabbergasted. But I like to always wait. Sometimes at the end of the day, but usually at 12 o'clock, right? The market usually changes. I don't know because traders decide they want to go to lunch or whatever. That's what I say. I don't know for sure, but usually about 11:45 to 12 o'clock, the market will recalibrate because what happens, especially on a day when there's a lot of enthusiasm in the market and people were optimistic about Nvidia earnings and they thought the market, which it did, it opened up high, right? So for the day, the Dow, I mean, opened up, I think, close to seven, but it crashed. It opened up close to seven and went all the way down, I think, at the low, close to 500, down to 500 points. It was a crazy ride. So we were up close to seven and went down 500 points. Crazy. It was a crazy day. All right, so let me get into some of these so I can close out this and you guys can get to my evening and you guys can get to your evening. So, long-term portfolio. These are my long-term positions. They were up more than this, but Nvidia still up 32%. Meta, I've been adding to Meta, right? Meta is one of my favorite positions. That is one of the reasons why the percentage is down, but I'm adding to Meta. Berkshire Hathaway, Warren Buffett, right? Still in there. And so far, the year for Berkshire Hathaway, since Warren Buffett announced his retirement, has not performed well. But it's a rock solid. This is something you need to a stock you need to have in your portfolio. It touches all aspects of our economy, right? And it's solid. Warren Buffett is very financially sound in his country. He has a ton of cash right now that he's putting to the side like he knew what was going to happen, which he always does. All right. Amazon, still love Microsoft, still love my favorites right there in my long-term portfolio. Let's look at my long-term performance. Man, we were up over 40% um for the year, going back a year this time last year. But man, we are that we've closed lower because of the stock market. But we're still beating the NASDAQ, you know? We're still beating the NASDAQ. I didn't show you my total portfolio, just a few pieces of it, right? All right, let's look at the option. Man, options are getting crushed. The only option I have really that's up right now is my GEV, all right? Um, General Electric, Nova, and Palantir and Vertiv, getting Palantir. I mean, it started off great. It was all good just a few minutes ago, like Ice Cube. But man, it just turned for the worse. But I'm telling you, I've still added. I'm still adding small amounts, but I just think that, and if you look at the options, I go all the way out till March. This was in G is until April, and Vert is till March. All right, so we're going all the way out to March on option performance. Man, we was close to 300% for the year. And when you have outsized gains, right? You're gonna when it does correct, you're gonna have outsized losses, right? So we're still up, close to 200%. But we were close to 300. So we lost a lot of steam, but that's okay. Like I said, we still have until March. My majority, all of my plays are until March. I don't have anything in this year. I closed out a lot of things. I don't have anything in this year. So we'll see how that happens. All right, the last thing I'm gonna show you guys is the dividends portfolio. This just shows you not the portfolio, but this is what's called a dividend calendar. When you develop a dividend portfolio, you have a different dividend calendar. And just to show you, even how crazy the market has been, I still have received dividends this month, right? And so I continue to receive dividends. I put the dividends aside, and because the market has value right now, right? Stocks are going to crash. I'm going to use that cash, and I will be continuing to add to my options. All right, or um, I'll I'll put in my long-term portfolio. All right, so a decision I made. So this is what I do. This is my process, my thought process. And I just believe in the process is just really just like Warren Buffett, right? He has cash. He always, even though the stock market is crashing, he has a business that generates income. I treat my dividends as a business, right? I treat my dividends as a business, right? And they work. Sometimes the dividends are up, sometimes the dividends are down, right? But all in all, they still produce a steady monthly income for me where I can reinvest, can buy more shares, and continue to grow my portfolio. All right. So it's a strategy I use. So, like I said, earning dividends even in a storm. All right, so guys, it has been great. Look, just you have to, life is about perseverance, right? If you want things, and I'm sure everyone out there, you've had to persevere with something in your life, and the stock market is no different, right? Is you have your highs in life, and then you have some lows, right? Highs and lows. That's what life is about. But can you stay here while things are crashing around you? Can you stay even keel? Can you still make sound decisions? Can you still evaluate what's going on? Right? Right? And not be really emotional, right? And I know it's harder for others. Some of us are really emotional. You know, that's one of my gifts that I don't get real emotional. My wife is like, "You don't have any emotions at all. Like, you? Are you happy or sad? Your face never shows." I said, "Well, I'm kind of even kill. That's my gift. That's why the stock market comes a little bit easier to me because I'm even kill. I'm not either. I don't get too high and I don't get too low. Stay here, right? And but sometimes for my wife's sake, I have to go here sometimes. To make her happy, and I can go there. You know, but 90% of the time I'm here, and that's the way I am. It has been a pleasure, man. I'm have some changes to the studio. I am my podcast. Just doing some updates. I had to work on my intro, and so I'm I'm going to be uploading a lot of these. If you don't get a chance to see these, I'll be uploading these as a podcast. So anyway, man, I want to thank you guys for giving me a few moments of your time. Look, stay in there, persevere, stay in there, right? Stay in there. Don't get shaken out. Stock market is still one of the greatest wealth generators in the world, especially our market. We have the largest stock market in the world, right? And just think about it. These billionaires aren't billionaires because they have great companies. Yes, that's one form of it, right? They're billionaires because they tapped into the stock market and they took their companies public, right? So we don't have to be Bill Gates. We don't have to be Elon Musk or even Warren Buffett. All we have to do is take our first fruits, take those first dollars, which you will get tomorrow if you work. Take those first fruits and put them into this market. This is a great time. Like, if you have Christmas coming up, you need to talk to your kids. Say, look, you getting shares for Christmas, right? You're getting a dividend portfolio for Christmas. That's the Christmas gift, right? Get one other thing. So in saying that, man, have a great rest of the week. And guys, this is the opportunity. You know, you had an opportunity on the 7th and it looked like things were crazy. Let me tell you, just think about this. COVID, we thought the world was going to end. This is not a world ending crash. All right, this is normal 10%, whatever, crash. You know, not even a crash yet. It's I call a rebalancing or a reset. Okay, in the stock market, and what happens is also to end this out. A lot of things. What happens with this is that people have people borrow, right? They have their own margin, and what happens is as these margins and these people have borrowed money to buy stocks, and they get cleaned up and they get their calls, and the market clears those people out, then the market will set on a new trajectory. All right, hit new levels. That's what I believe. All right, man. You guys have a great week, and until next time, man. All about the first fruits. All right, it's your responsibility. Don't take it lightly. All right, don't take it lightly. First fruits are important. See you next time. Thank you.